So I had this new lesson because Bob Proctor talked about this lightly, but I know for a fact most people do not take this lesson we're going to cover very seriously. It's the power of repetition. I am going through thinking into results again because it's the new program I'm going to be launching. It's going to be one-on-one clients only, one-on-one with group. And so I just looked at all my clients and I was like, you know what, who are the people that are getting the biggest results? Who like Anish came in, like, who are these guys like Anish and my clients back in the past? And they all did two things. They did thinking into results very seriously, especially for the first month. After that, maybe they kind of like dropped the routine a little bit, but at the very beginning, they did thinking into results very seriously. Second thing is we had one-on-one calls. We hopped on the call with Anish. He got a couple ideas for people to call. He got on those calls, and then boom, he just took off. And so that's what we need to do. We need to get back to the basics, myself included. So that's why I'm closing out Quantum Leap. It's a long program. It's a good program, but very long. So I'm going to put into the school group the recordings and only do one-on-one calls to make sure that people are getting the best results and having the best testimonials. Because guys, I need you to know that these laws work. Maybe they might not be working for you now. Maybe that they've worked in the past. Maybe they haven't worked for you yet, but it's a fact that these laws work. And maybe you guys might be struggling or trying to figure out like how to crack it. Like you feel like it's there. Maybe you feel a little disappointed. I have had all of those feelings you guys have having right now. Some of you have come to this call and you've had quantum leaps in the past and you're going through a downtime. I felt that. Remember, I went 2 years of going broke after Bob Proctor. I felt all those pains. Or for those of you now that haven't got a quantum leap, you invest a lot of money and you studied and you're doing the work, but it hasn't worked. I felt that too. During that 2 year period, I was studying on and off and it wasn't working. After 2 years, it was a lot of doubts. It was a lot of worry. It was a lot of frustration. There was just so many feelings that were coming in. And so all that I can say is if you keep on keeping on, never lose faith in yourself, never lose faith in the material, it will work out. And how can I prove that? Look at what happened with Mr. Law of Attraction. I got back to the basics. I took the quantum jumps. I raised my faith one more time and look at what happened. Now we've done almost $700,000 this year. And it's just growing and growing and growing. This week alone, we've done $25,000 in cash collected 25K. We're going to collect another 5,000 today. So it put me at $30,000 this week. Guys, sometimes you can go through a bad time, through a slow time, but you can continue working and working. So, with that being said, let's get into today's lesson, okay? Today we're covering the power of repetition. Such a powerful lesson. I wrote this about a month ago, a month or two ago, okay? This is why some people will get results and some don't. It's not about information, okay? So, for example, I've been studying thinking to results lesson 2, and we know what to do. Everybody in this call knows what to do. They know they have TIR, they know what to do in their business, they know their sales and how to post and things. But what needs to happen is a changing of the paradigm, which we covered a couple weeks ago. It's the paradigm that's controlling your results. How do we change the paradigm? It's images backed by feeling done with repetition. I've never taught repetition. So we have to get into it so you guys really understand the emphasis of repetition. Let's get into the power of repetition. The power of repetition, rewriting your mind through rhythm. So Norman Vincent Peale said repetition of the same thought or physical repetition of the same thought or physical action develops into a habit which repeated frequently enough becomes an authentic reflex. Remember, it's the stories you're telling yourself throughout the day which dictating your life. So Fernando, you're driving right now. Whatever you're thinking about right now and before this call, that's what's navigating your life. It's not the one action, it's not the post, it's what you're doing when you're offline. When your mind is offline, that is what's controlling your life. Like for example, we'll go back example to Fernando. Fernando's driving right now. Fernando, you probably haven't even seen the last couple lights you passed. You're probably just driving and driving, and you're listening to us. But like the last couple lights you passed, or the cars that you just passed, you weren't even paying attention, right? You're on autopilot. That's the type of mind that we're talking about. So the definition: the power of repetition is the process of embedding new thoughts, emotions, and actions into the subconscious mind through consistent and intentional practice. Repetition is how you override your old programming and install new paradigms. This is how we do it. This is the key here. It's the repetition of new thoughts, not just one action, not just one post, not just changing your offer. It's the repetition of new ideas that you're planting in. And it creates neuroplasticity, which changes in the brain and energetically conditions your body into an alignment with the new identity. So what this is mental rehearsal, is identity reinforcement and habit programming. What it's not is not mindless looping. Okay, so just I've tried those self-talk rampage reaches, listen to the same affirmation over and over again, and that it didn't really work for me. So it's not just mindless looping, it's an action intention of changing your thought. It's not forced thinking, and it's not passively listening. So it affects your belief system, your emotional default states, daily behavior, and muscle memory and self-concept. So like some of you might be going through a tough time. I think a lot of you are. Maybe you haven't got a client in a period of time. Maybe you're thinking about changing your business. Maybe you're wondering if this is going to work out for you or why it hasn't worked out for you yet. That is your belief system. And what's happened is you've been looking at the outside results based on views, clients, book calls, and you've internalized the outside world thinking that that's the truth because that's what the last 90 days has shown you. So you've been sucked into the matrix. But one thing that I have learned through struggle that I don't want to go through anymore is that it doesn't matter where you're at and what's happened in the past. You can change your reality this week. This week. Like, I'll tell you guys, like, something that was interesting. Like, I didn't get a client for a couple months. It was very strange because I was doing the same work that I was doing when I had my 80K week, 85K week. And then randomly this week, I get 3 clients to buy within 48 hours. It's the strangest thing. And during this like time, other than me working on myself, changing, like working on my webinar and all the things, I kept working on not accepting this as a reality. That if I change myself energetically and keep on keeping on until it will change. And then back, one client came in, a one-on-one client. And I said, hell yeah, watch the momentum come. That was a Friday. And then Saturday, another client locked in, another one-on-one client. And then another client paid on Tuesday. It was just back to back to back to back and back in the game. You guys can change that, but you have to hold your frequency long enough. And you can't lose faith and belief during those periods. That's why I was truly honest with you guys was like last month, I was like, guys, like my business sometimes is good, sometimes it's bad. But I know if I keep on keeping on with these principles here, it will show up and boom, 30K or no, 25K in a matter of a week. And we still have a little bit more to collect. We could do 30, 40K this week. Coming off not getting a client for 2 months, other than people like upgrading and stuff. New clients, new business, right? So we had 2 new clients join in this week. They're not even on the call. I don't even know where they're at. It's part of the game. They pay, they're not even on the call. All right, let's continue. All right, so key concepts. We become what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is an act, but it's not just an act, but it's a habit. It's not just one thing that you do, it's a habit. And that was said by Aristotle. So I'm going to cover a couple points here about repetition and why it's so important. Repetition creates neuroplasticity. So and we talked about this in brainwaves, right? So the brain rewires itself through repetition. Are you doing the work repetitiously? Like I'm doing a lot of work, one-on-one work with Rich. He extended. We'll be working together for 6 months. So Rich right now has beaten my record. He's my most like VIP client. He spent the most amount of money with me out of all my clients, and I just committed to him to let's work for the next 6 months or 3 months more. And that's just the case when you're a little bit more like seasoned, say 40, 50, your paradigms are much deeper than a guy like Anish who's 22. And I could teach him a couple of things and boop, he just quantum leaps in a week. But he's 22. Right? Not to, you have the same power, but those beliefs are just a little bit stronger. And so by repetition of certain actions, you can change your life in a matter of weeks. Every thought, every emotion or behavior repeated over time strengthens your neural pathways and forms a new default mode. Neurons that fire together will wire together. And so what we're doing here specifically is that we are doing meditations to repetitively train the brain and rewire new pathways that this is the new reality. So one thing that I'm doing right now, I knew that we were going to get clients this week because of the new meditations that I've been doing. I'm already so grateful for the new clients that are coming in right now. They're already out there. I've been speaking to God. I've been on my knees. I've been praying to God, like, bring me these 3 people, these 3 one-on-one clients for this new program. Pre-order, right? These are proof of concept before we go live to the public with the webinar. I wanted 3 people to purchase this program. And within 48 hours, we had the first person join. And then we have the next guy joining today. Very quickly. Because I've been doing the meditations of wiring my brain and what it feels like and what it looks like to work with these 3 people in the quantum field. So here's exactly what I'm doing. So I do my meditation and I do a quantum jump. I project myself, and follow me here. Let me get off my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. So what I do in my meditations and how I got these 2 new clients to join this program within 48 hours, I do my meditation. I lower my brain waves, and I quantum jump to the future version of myself. I'm in the quantum space. I go and I meet these people's spirits. I go, sounds weird. Just follow me here. I go and I meet these people's energies. I meet their auras. And I'd say, God, who are these three people that are out there? It's the same thing I did with Fernando when he came into the business. Who are these people out there, Lord, that are praying to you that can take this material and quantum leap their life? You know their story. You know their path. You know if that they took thinking to results. You know that if they study with me, that we could quantum leap their life. Who are these people that you have a path for them? Introduce me to them. It is done. And I'll have these conversations. I'll have these meetings in my mind, and I'll do this meditation 2, 3 times a day. And then boom, in this week, two people joining the program and more yet to come. This is proof of concept, making sure this program is what people want. Then we'll take it live to the market. We'll enroll another 20 people, do $300,000 this month when we do the webinar. It's done. And I do this repetitionally. And it's so crazy how quickly it happens. But I'm not worried about how many clients I got over the last 90 days. All I'm worried about is I'm so emotionally involved in what I'm creating moving forward that everything that is to come now is already created in the now. I don't let last month or last year or anything affect me. I start now, brand new slate. That's emotional intelligence. Repetition, rewiring the new brain. So emotion plus repetition equals your identity shift. Repetition paired with feeling imprints. Repetition paired with feeling imprints beliefs into the subconscious mind faster. Dry repetition is slow. So I want to ask you a question. When you're doing your repetition, are you emotionally involved? So like one thing that I'm doing right now as I'm doing my meditation, I'm kind of cycling through different things. I'm cycling through the three people coming in, which we already got two of them. And then I'm also cycling through the launch that we're doing. We're going to do 300,000. I'm fully overwhelmed by my calendar again. Fully booked out. I'm seeing myself scrolling. And it's funny how I'm going back to Colombia so I can actually even take these calls because Dubai time is crazy. I'll be taking calls 4 a.m. But while I'm back in Colombia next month, I can take all calls. I start at 10 a.m. I'm very specific about my meditation. I start my calls at 10 a.m. All gym, everything else is before. I start my first calls at 10 and I go to about 7 at night. And I'm taking all these sales calls. Another stack that I add on. So I'm scrolling through my calendar. I'm taking all these sales calls. So I have a private payment processor now that can handle like the numbers that I do. And so had to go do a whole process of like banking and stuff. But now I got to prove to them. Every time I get a payment, I get an email from them. So if somebody pays $15,000, the next day I get an email saying this is how much you collected. So also my meditation, I go and I open up my email and I see 54,000 for the day, 73,000 for the day, 104,000 for the day. So like these are what I'm doing in my meditation repetitiously. And it's so funny to see how my life doors will shut so that a new one can open. I would have never gone into webinars if it wasn't for the lack of clients that came in over the last like 2 months. Like the business just was weird. I don't know what happened. I was doing the same things, but the clients just stopped on the YouTube channel side. Like it got slower. So I was like, okay, well, am I just gonna sit here and cry and oh my God, what's gonna happen? No, I get back into the work. And I start visualizing this thing. Out of nowhere, I just start seeing webinars. I start going down the path. I start looking for the expert, getting in the courses, building out this webinar, learning how to do it. And it's funny to see how everything new doors start to open. Now, who knows that this door that closed, YouTube organic, opens up a new door with the YouTube mixed with webinars, mixed with ads, and this takes me to the next level. What one door shuts, if you keep on keeping on and keep on your self-improvement and don't get emotionally involved in the outside world, keep projecting the projection, focus on what you want with repetition, a new door will open. What will happen is a lot of people will quit during this period. They'll minimize. What would that look like? They stop posting on social media. They stop showing up to the calls. They stop doing the work and they start to shrink. And that is exactly what we talk about in real life actions of what you don't want to do. When things in the outside world are not working, because that's your sign for God to move you forward, most people shrink. The content gets less valuable. They stop doing the work. This is where you have to reject that shit, focus on what you want, and build that internal belief like we talked about with Vaughn a couple weeks ago. You have to generate it. You have to become the generator now. That's the only way you can pull yourself out of the trenches. I'm telling you right now, if you're in the trenches right now, it's the only way you can do it is reject the projection and build enough internal belief to re-energize yourself through the downtimes and build faith and excitement again with repetition until it happens. And when you do it correctly, it's a matter of hours. It's a matter of hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, that week, and boom. And this is why I always tell you guys until $25,000 this week, cash, because I did until. And that's just the start. That's just gathering some cash, getting some proof of concept, put some money to ads, and then we see this webinar. I don't care. We might do 50K, we might do 80. The goal's 300, but we're going to learn and do it again. And maybe the next one does 300,000. It doesn't matter. Like I tell Rich on our one-on-one calls, when I first started with Bob Proctor and I reached out to that guy, Jason Stone, remember that story? I got that intuitive download. I called him. I was so nervous. I didn't get any sales for the month. I think maybe one. Nothing was happening, but I was working every single week with this team. A month later, this guy messages me. I go do the same exact thing with this new guy, and I make 100K in 14 days. Same exact thing. It might not be that exact door, but if you keep on keeping on, reject the projection, guys. It was at the point where I actually got kicked out of Bob Proctor's company because I didn't make my monthly payment. That first month, I couldn't make the $3,000 payment. So I got kicked out. So even if I signed a client, I didn't even have a way to pay to get them their license. So what did I do? I got kicked out. I kept on keeping on, reject the projection. I got a client and I told them, hey, what's going on, Vaughn? I know you just signed up, but you got to give me at least 48 hours and then I'll go ahead and get you in. So the money hit my account, paid Bob Proctor, bought the license. I was back in the game that week, $100,000. Guys, like I'm telling you right now, what are you doing in this phase? Are you contracting or are you going up? This is not like some of you in the trenches right now. And I know this is how you're going to do it. But I'm telling you right now, if you can pull yourself out of this, this will be one of the biggest moments of your life. Do not shrink, create. The subconscious learns through repetition. The subconscious does not learn through logic or debate. Logically, none of this makes sense. It learns through rhythm, emotion, and consistency, especially during vulnerable states like sleep or meditation. You really want to get into that quantum field. I've kind of noticed this as I was teaching you guys this meditation. I've noticed myself kind of doing two things in meditation. I learned this really deeply with hypnosis. With hypnosis, I get really deep into myself. Like I'm really deep. When I do these quantum jumps, I'm out in the quantum field. Is this making sense? When I'm doing a hypnosis, I'm really deep into myself, shallow breathing, really calm. I'm like sinking into the couch. I'm inside of myself. Sleep-like state. Then when I do a quantum jump and I'm outside of my body, that's when like my body twitches and stuff. That's when I'm just out in creative mode. It's these two places that you want to create it. A lot of like, make sure you keep doing your visualizations. Make sure you keep doing your work. Re-energize yourself. Habits are repetition and action. Every action you take reinforces an identity. Are you sleeping in because you're unmotivated? Did you stop posting content because you're unmotivated? Did you stop doing the work because you didn't get results yet? Repetition is what turns discipline into automation. Your morning routine, your reactions, and the decisions are all repetition loops. So you guys remember that example? Think of the stick figure, okay? Actually, let me draw it for you. That's much better. Okay, join me in the whiteboard. Okay. So remember, there's a power that's flowing into your consciousness, and that power just is. It's not positive and it's not negative. Okay, it just is. So this power's floating you. And what happens is, for the most people, let these blue represent your antennae. See, hear, smell, taste, and touch. So what most people are doing, the average person, the unenlightened, the people that are not using these laws, the power hits them. And then based on what they see in the projection, it's negative. They haven't got the clients, they haven't got the views, they haven't got the results yet. So it registers as, based on the outside world, this antennae hits them, boop, and they internalize a negative result. And it's so much easier to get emotionally involved in an outside result, especially when it's negative. and you start to feel like shit. So that also puts you in a place where your actions start to be negative. You stop posting, you minimize, which means that you're going to get results to the same degree of the negative, and you keep repeating the cycle over and over until you go out of business, you go broke, you have to change your business model, and it just becomes a sad life. You have to learn to break that cycle. And that's the hardest thing a person can do. The hardest thing a person can do is to think. What is to think? It's to think truth. What is to think truth? To think truth, well, doing green, is to reject this world. Reject it completely. And it's not easy, but you're going to have to use your imagination. You're going to reject everything that's going on outside of you, which means you're going to reject all of your physical senses. It doesn't make sense. There's no logic to this. The only thing that's here is understanding. Understanding is the key. Understanding of yourself and understanding of the laws. When you have understanding, you will have faith. So now, instead of using your physical senses to create your reality, the power is going to hit you. You're going to flip to the positive side because you're going to use your imagination. You're going to use your imagination to formulate an image of what you want. Then you're going to do your meditation and you're going to plant into the subconscious mind, this new positive one. You're going to feel it. You're going to see it. And you're going to do it with repetition. You have a positive feeling multiplied by repetition, what's going to put you in a state where you're more positive. The outside world might be going to shit, but you feel motivated. You're generated. You didn't get any sales. You're not getting any views, but yet you have enough power to go out there and sit at that desk and learn the new positioning, to learn the new offer, to post that piece of content. And you're going to do that new action now to the degree of positive, even though the outside result is negative. And then you're going to do it until. And then eventually, through the law of transmutation, it will happen and it'll flip to positive. And you'll notice how everything starts to flow down your way. Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. That is the key here. If you're going through times, you need to expand, not shrink. Inner dialogue becomes your outer reality. What stories are you telling yourself right now? What you say to yourself daily becomes what you expect. And what you expect shapes your perception and behavior. I expected clients to come in for this new program, this thinking into results. I got on my knee, and I do completely admit it was God mode. I got on my knees, I prayed to the Lord. I said, Lord, I don't know what's going on as far as the business side. I posted 25 videos in the YouTube over the last 3 months. I don't know what's going on, but this one I'm going to give to you. And I told you before, I went to the quantum field in my meditation, and then boom, 2 clients sign up within 48 hours for this new program. Insane. And I just got on my knees. I started crying. I said, Lord, this was all you. This is not even me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Right? Let's go to the next level. And this is just going back to practicing the laws. And sometimes I forget. Like even in the Bible, it said like sometimes Jesus' disciples forgot what he could do. Right? Don't quote me on that. Right? But I know there's some stories like that in there. Like Jesus would perform a miracle, and then a couple months later, they would forget that he could perform these miracles, and they started doubting. They started worrying if the storm was going to get them. Do not lean on your own understanding. Because when you do these laws and mix God into it, it can happen very quickly. That's why I tell you, Rich, if you do these principles, brother, you are 48 hours away from making 10K, your first client, getting back-to-back clients. You have no idea how it will happen. That's the fun part. It's unexpected. The fun is finding out how you're going to do it. That's the fun part. Repetition replaces the old. You don't fight the old paradigm. You rewrite it by consistently installing a new one. Repetition weakens the old neural connections and strengthens the new one. Consistency creates momentum. The compound effect of repetition builds spiritual, mental, and behavioral momentum. You begin to generate. Gentlemen, are you becoming a generator, or are you allowing the outside world to generate your feelings? What do you really want right now? Like most of you, you're trying to acquire more cash flow. Most of you, so you can do some stuff in your life. Do some stuff with your family, do some stuff for yourself, right? Are you waiting for the money to come before you have the feelings, or will you generate the feelings first and become Mr. Magnetic? I always end my meditations that I am Mr. Magnetic. It will come to me. Acres of Diamond states that it's right here, right in front of me. It's right in front of me. Then I get some random ideas to call a couple people. I reached out to Rich. I said, hey, Rich, I have this new program coming out. Is this something you'd be interested in? We had a chat, signed up. Talked to Dan. Dan, is this a program that I'd be interested in? He said, yeah, man, let's do it. Signing up. Who's the next couple people? That's not my job. I know it's Acres of Diamonds. They're watching my channel now. They're in my ecosystem now. I just want 3 people to pre-purchase proof of concept to make sure this is something real, something that people want before I take it to market, because it's a new price, new offer. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's one-on-one coaching only. Do people want this for this price? Proof of concept, business stuff. Now we take it to the general market, knowing that this is something that the market wants. You see how I mix in business with spiritual? This is what I try to teach you guys. In the trenches right now, you're going to build some of the most powerful things that will pull you to the next level, and you'll never forget. Any questions on those little lessons right there, or how to implement to your life, or any other angles you want me to hit that from? Questions? All right, let's continue. Think of your subconscious mind like a field. A thought repeated once is like throwing a seed on the ground. A thought repeated daily is like planting, watering, and nourishing it. Eventually, it becomes a tree rooted and automatic. If I train my brain, as you guys know for a fact, through me, through all of you guys have studied this material before you came to me, that the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what's fake. So when you're doing your visualization and you're visualizing a certain task with feeling, you're wiring your brain to believe that that is real. Let's take that example of scrolling your calendar being fully booked out. You're strengthening those neural wires. You're planting the seed. The subconscious mind will close doors that shouldn't have closed logically. You're like, wait, I've been posting the same content I was last time, but now I'm not getting clients like I was last time. That doesn't make any sense. A door will close because the subconscious mind is going to lead you through an unexpected path if you don't shrink. But if you continue to expand through the trenches, you'll find out that a new door opened, and that was the one to take you to levels that were unimagined before. For example, when I started YouTube, Instagram was not working. I go to YouTube, boom, everything takes off. Been doing YouTube now for a year. That may not take me to the next level. Well, really, it can't. It's organic. There's no way. It's unpredictable. So I have to go the route of a sales asset like a webinar mixed with ads. So for the YouTube to do that little stunt, I came into webinars, which at the time I don't know, but my intuition tells me to go down this path of webinars. So we're building this thing out, and this thing could take me where we go do $3 million with webinars this year. I do not have the slightest doubt that that won't happen. If it's not webinar, it's something I learned through the webinars, because I kept expanding through what seemed to be a door closing. This is it, gentlemen. It's this right here. This is what I try to communicate to you guys all day long. And it's customized. If I sit on an hour call with Juan, it's something. If it's for Fernando, if it's Rich, if it's Anish, it's all customized. That's what one-on-one is about. Because these are concepts. But I'm also relying on you guys to learn this and apply it to your life, which is it does take a little bit of effort. It does. It takes a lot of effort. That's why one-on-one is so important. So I can take this and sit with Vaughn and be like, all right, Vaughn, so what's going on right now? Man, the community is not working. Okay, so that door is opening or closing. What's this? What's that? What's this? Okay, have you seen it like this? Why don't we try that? Why don't we go do this path? And you see that door open up. Maybe he just needed a little bit of accountability. Maybe it needed a push. Maybe he needed a new perspective. Maybe he just needed a spark of enthusiasm to go again. And then boom, he got through it until. That's the power of the one-on-one, which most of you are already in, right? Key milestones from my time through key milestones from my time studying with Bob Proctor. So, and I told you guys this before, when I became studying as a consultant with Bob, I was giving strict rules. Listen 2 to 3 times a day to thinking into results, which I started back up. I'm on lesson 2. Stay on lesson 1 for 2 full weeks before moving on. So when I came in, he told me to do 2 weeks per lesson. repetition. And remember, I was so down bad, I just listened to everything he said, like literally like a carrot in front of me. So what I would do is I would listen to the lesson 30 times before advancing to the next lesson. And I completed all lessons in 6 months. But the results came much faster. By lesson 4, 60 days in, I was already making my first $100,000 a month. And it was effortless. It was almost magical. Guys, remember, I am a testimonial to this material multiple times. Multiple times. The first time, Bob Proctor, 100K a month. Then going on to 7 figures. Then losing it all. Then building it back up. Manifesting my girlfriend. Having a record week. What I used to do in a month, I did in a week. Then doing it in a day. Now taking that, what I earned all year, and doing that in a month. So I think we're like 700,000 or something so far this year, right? So how can we go make 700K in a month? It won't be through effort. It's going to be through leverage and spiritual laws. Why don't we go do a webinar, run some ads to that shit, crack ads, and then just never look back again? Why not? Why don't we use our imagination instead of looking like what we used to do? And that breakthrough came through from where the rest, and that breakthrough came, and the rest was history. Repetition. Repetition. Have you been doing repetition in your life? Are you just hopping on the calls and then hopping off and then that's it? And I see you guys on Thursday. Are you writing your goals? Are you reading your goals? Are you looking at your goal card? Like, I always have my goal card on me. I may not read it every day, but damn, like, it is such an ingrained habit. I will always have a goal card for the rest of my life. I will always have one. And I'll be honest, I don't always look at it, but I search for it. It might be a day or two. I'm like, shit, where is that? I go search it to the laundry. Maybe I had it in my gym shorts or something. I always have it on me. This shit changed my life so much. I can't ever go back. Are you looking at your goal card? Are you doing the lessons twice a day? Are you implementing, not just listening to what I'm saying? Because remember, this is everything I do on this call is only giving you awareness to the 5% so that you can do the work off the call. So here's your daily actions. Quantum leap repetition based on integration. To truly experience the information and transformation of quantum leap and thinking through results, you're not here just to learn. You're here to reprogram. That's the purpose of this. That's why I'm retiring this program, because this program is not really based on repetition. It's more of like building the man on all aspects of life. So we need to make it a little bit more simple. 12 lessons of TIR, and then you guys can learn different facets of this program here and there inside the school group, which you guys will all have access to. It's repetition, guys. And emotional absorption. Follow the proven system to help me get there. Okay, here's what it looks like. One lesson per week, TIR. Focus on just one module every 7 days. Do not rush ahead. Mastery requires saturation. You need to saturate your mind. Daily repetition. Listen to the same video, what I say 2 times per day. Here's how you can do it. You listen to the audio, you listen to the video, or you do both. What matters most is your exposure. So what I do is beginning of the week, I watch the videos, because I haven't watched the videos in a long time. I only listen to the MP3s. So I've been watching the videos. And then today, when I was on my way to the cafe before my call with Rich, I was listening to it in the car. And then I'll hear something and I'll get an idea and I rewind it back. He gave me an idea. Maybe I should go do live events. Maybe I should do corporate training, because I'm going to stop the online coaching. I'm getting a little bored. I've been doing it for a long time. So I'm going to kind of close down this little sector of my business and try to go into a new place, which I don't really know yet. It could be live events. It could be masterminds, or it could be corporate training. It could be training salespeople. I don't really know yet what I'm going to do. I'll find out in the next quarter, but I'm going to kind of close down online coaching and really go into more live stuff. I have more fun like that. One-on-one coaching and live events. That's the only thing I'm doing. That's why I'm not doing Quantum Leap anymore. I record it once and then people can buy it in the school group. But those ideas I'm getting by listening to TIR. That's what Bob used to do. He trained IBM. He trained insurance companies. And hearing his stories, I'm like, damn, what if I did that? What if I came into a corporation that paid me $20,000 to train plus upside, 5% of everything the sales team produced? That's a whole new business model. Same business, different business model. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. See, I'm like reinventing my life. Like every time I get on a call with Rich, he's like, damn, he's like, you're changing a lot. It's like, it's iterations, iterating. That's a different frequency. I've never even had those kind of thoughts. You haven't even had the thoughts you would have to be at your next level. But if you keep on keeping on and doing what I'm saying, new ideas will hit you, new doors will open. The same thing that has gotten you to where you're at now is not the same thing that will take you to the next level. Believe that. Believe that. Listen actively and passively. So, what does this look like? Your deep work sessions. Okay. You want to be at your desk or wherever you work at and listen to it full force, no phone, every like deep work session. Then you can listen to it while you're driving. This is a passive session, or while you're walking, or at the gym, or while you're prepping your meals, or prepping in the gym, or prepping, in the morning. One is active, deep work session. The other one is passively. Both are okay. Really, the big one is you want to make sure you're doing the deep work session where you're not distracted. So by the end of each week, you have listened to lessons 7 to 10 times, allowing it to sink into your subconscious mind. Now you notice this is slightly altered based on how I started. I started, remember, on a 6 month program, twice per week. Sorry, 2 weeks per lesson. I brought it down to 1 week per lesson just to make it be done in 90 days. Because I've noticed if the big people are going to quantum leap, they're going to quantum leap very quickly if they're doing it correctly. If not, they just got to restart it again. This doesn't take time. It's really quick. This repetition reactivates neuroplasticity and strengthens your identity. Okay. So why does this work? Repetition reprograms your self-image. Emotional repetition changes your nervous system. Consistent exposure makes the transformation automatic. And by week 4, I expect not only for myself, but for you guys that quantum leaps. Anish came in here first month. Rachel came in here first month. Sarah came in here first month. Me, 2 months. Quickly. So don't just study the lesson, become the lesson. So this is like why when I was talking with Rich earlier today, one of the best ways to become a master of your craft is to make content around it. Right, Vaughn? You learn more about your market when you make a YouTube video about it. I do the same. And the cool thing about my business is super valuable for other people because I didn't have to create it. So I'm essentially getting paid to restudy thinking to results again and get paid more. And I'm taking people through the journey. I'm just 10 steps ahead of them, but I'm going to take Rich through the journey now. Hey, Rich, let's go back to thinking to results one-on-one and let's do this together. So he's initially paid me to go through this. I'm going to study again in my own personal time. But then I'm also giving him 10 steps ahead of frequencies of, hey, Rich, look at this, look at that. So he can do it 10 times faster than I ever did 5 years ago when I started it. So he will benefit much more than when he paid me. What can he get? I paid Bob Proctor $30,000 one time to become a consultant, and that's made me $2 million. Was it worth it for me to pay 30K to make 2 million? Absolutely. How many times would you make that agreement? As many times as possible. And that's my objective here with Rich, with really all of you guys, right? And especially for this new program. I'm super excited for this. And I pray over you guys to make sure you get results to really take this to the next level, right? Okay, integration. Choose one new belief or behavior that you want to change. So for me, it's getting back into thinking into results because I've only been doing quantum leap because it took me a lot of work to rewrite all these lessons. It took me hours. Most of you have seen the new format. It took me a long time to write all these, right? I didn't just throw into chat GPT. It organized it, but I had to write them and put them in examples and stories. And it's a lot of work, right? So now that I've kind of completed quantum leap, I'm back into TIR again. I'm making a daily habit. Every single day I'm listening to TIR. Every single day I'm watching the video. Every single day I'm going to the next level. Log your emotions, what behavior you want to shift, all right? And repeat that 21 days to 30 days. Spoken, visualized, and written. So here's a summary of everything we just covered. Let's go and cover what we did. Repetition is the mother of mastery. It doesn't change what you think. It changes who you are. Remember, it's not how, it's who. Who you have become. Yet what you rehearse, you remember. What you repeat, you become. Consistency rewires the nervous system. The man who stays in rhythm becomes unstoppable. So the core practice of this idea is install new beliefs and habits through motion and intentional repetition. It's not just one time, it's over and over and over and over and over again. Just make the commitment. You're just going to listen to it over and over again until you just crack your 100K month or whatever it is that you want. Just make the commitment now. Why does it work? It rewires your subconscious patterns and forms new identity and results. And the daily ritual is to speak, visualize, write, and live the new reality every single day. Okay, any questions on this lesson before we get into our action step worksheet? Any questions, stories, or anything that you guys would like me to cover?
Yeah, DeAndre. So just to clarify, because I'm on lesson 7 out of the 12, is it more beneficial to get through each lesson to lesson 12 or to restart and to repeat, say, lesson 1 over and over and then lesson
Yeah.
2 over and over?
Yeah. Since you're in the new program, just keep on keeping on. We're gonna go together as a group. So
Right,
we'll start on lesson 1, but I'll let you know that. Whenever
right,
we start that up, everybody will be at lesson 1. We're gonna go through week by week. And because when we have our one-on-one sessions, they're gonna be tied to that lesson.
okay.
Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Okay. Power of repetition worksheet, guys. Okay. So I made a worksheet for you guys to help you anchor in your new repetition, anchor in repetition. Like, so tracking, like what exactly you're writing, what are you visualizing, getting just clear. Guys, everybody has the same mind. It's just clarity. Where are you going? Are you going from Miami to New York on your drive? You just need clarity. That's it. What vehicle are you taking? What time are you leaving? Who's going with you? What's your budget for the trip? What time do you expect to arrive? What hotel we That's it. It's just super clarity. Most people like they understand the principles, but they don't have clarity over what exactly are they doing. What's the repetition? What is the visualization? What is the feeling? What will my life look like when I have manifested that thing into my life? Like, guys, this is crazy. I will adjust my life to my visualization before it has even come. Like, for example, I did a visualization last week and Vanessa was there as I got up and I was telling her like, damn, for me to be fully booked out, I think we need to be in the States or like at least in that time zone because I don't want to be taking calls 3 in the morning. And to fully maximize all these fully booked out, I need to be in the same time zone. I need to be in America. I have to start at 10 a.m. That means like all my meetings have to get pushed up in the morning. When am I gonna have my one-on-one calls? When like I'm already thinking about like I'm already moving my schedule, moving things around. Like everything is moving to facilitate this space, yet it hasn't even come. I'm creating the vacuum. So I know these next 90 days, there's gonna be a lot of clients coming into the new program after this webinar. So I'm adjusting my life to meet that. Training Alexis to be my setter, working the payment processors, doing everything is moving before it actually happens. This is how you create the vacuum. Does that make sense, guys? So in this worksheet, you're going to go design that for yourself so you can have clarity and walk away. And that's the biggest thing you guys need is that clarity. Got it?